Hey, I'm Scott, and I'm an American in Bangkok. Today I got a letter from a guy named Hank Chocolate. He writes, Hey Scott, I'm a 20-year-old who's going to be staying in Thailand for a month in April to May, and maybe taking a job with my dad's friend there too and staying 6 months or so, or a year. I've watched a lot of your videos and agree with a load of points you've made. I have the idea in the back of my head that if my month in Thailand and my 6 months working there goes well, I might try to live there for a year or so. I currently work at a university with loads of students, and I'm sick of every year 30 to 40 of the students I work with get their qualifications and go to work in their dream jobs while I'm stuck in mine, which is why I've decided to travel. Do you think it's a good idea for a 20-year-old to be thinking about living in a foreign country before he's even left his parents' house back home? I have a good concept of money, and I'm able to save up enough to last me a good 3 to 4 months out there, well fed and watered, maybe 3 to 4 months a year before I decide to completely up and leave everything behind. Uh, I think if you think of it as a short term gig, you're better off, and I'll tell you why. You're only 20. When I came here, I was 33. I mean, I was a little bit set in my ways, but not nearly the way that I am now. And over time, you will change. Now, I kind of knew that I was going to be here once I decided to stay, I knew I was going to be here for a while. I mean, I knew I'm going to do everything I can to stay here for years, and hopefully it will work out. When I first came, though, I said I'm going to live here for a year and see what I can do and see how things work out. You're young enough to where if you come over, you work, and I've gone over this in other videos, but you're young enough to come over here, and if you decide, I'm going to stay here for a couple years, you stay for 2 or 3 years, and then you decide, all right, you know what, that's it. I want to get back to the U.S., I want to do something different. You can do that. And people aren't going to turn their heads. If you come back at 50 or 60 and you've been in Thailand for 30 years, people are less apt to understand, where have you been? Why did you drop out of society? But here's the thing, you say that you have a job with your dad's friend. Why don't you just come over here for a month, have some fun, and then work for your dad's friend for 6 months or a year, whatever, and then continue to work with your dad's friend? I mean, I don't know if that's possible, but if it's not, well, then you say you've got money to stay here 3 to 4 months out of the year. Why not do that? I mean, there's no hurry, and you've got your whole life ahead of you. For somebody like me, I'm older, and when I came here, I had my life ahead of me. I still have, hopefully I have quite a bit of my life ahead of me. But I had a lot more 20 years ago. And I could have went in any direction, which is the thing that you have a lot of options. You're young. You could start at a company from the ground up in the U.S., and my thing is that why, if you're unhappy with your job in the U.S., don't think that moving to another country is going to change the way you feel. You're only 20 years old. Once you mature even more and you're 30, 35, 40, you're going to see that you might think a little bit differently. But, if you do decide to make a move, what's the hurry? Why not just take the couple of months and see what's happening and set yourself up in the U.S. where you're never going to have a struggle while you're here, okay? For me, it's been a struggle off and on. I mean, I've had times where I was flush with cash and I had a good job and I was making money, and then I've had times when I wasn't making much, I was scraping by, and, eventually you might want to have a wife and kids. You might meet some girl that you fall in love with, and you're going to have a decent job. Now, you may be able to get a job at a university, I don't know, but you say you don't like it in the States, so eventually you might not like it in Thailand either. So I would keep my options open. I would not think long term. I would think short term. Just come for a few months, see how you like it, get to know it over the course of a few years. Don't just say, oh, I'm sick of it. You're 20 years old. If you're sick of it, I mean, it's like your life is only just beginning. And if you're sick of it, then just get another job, change, and do something different. Don't just think that going to a foreign country is going to change all your problems, because it's not going to happen. Okay, so that's all I got. Until next time, I'm Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok. Chok di la chicken mai.